Hello, Renpros folks. It's April 4th. Most of you that have ever been here and checked out have seen our pencil holder, pen and pencil holder. It's a shell, meaning a part of a military shell. It used to be tall, it's been cut off. It's been around for years. I vaguely remember a customer giving us a whole bunch of tools one time and it was mixed in with them. And a sharp-eyed customer got to looking at it a couple of years ago and realized it's got all sorts of scratches and writing on it. And it was from the sailor that was on a ship. So we've determined a few things written on here. This shell came from the destroyer Escort, number 162. It's got USS Levy on it. It was launched March 28th, 1943, and the sailor served on it from 42 to 46. So he must have trained on the ship. And there's a sketch of this, which might mean Signal Corps, and his name is Richard. I'm not going to say his last name, and it has SK3. And he probably has 20 or 25 little tiny scratches on here that says Panama Canal, Wake, Marshall Islands, Philippines, all kinds of ports of call and battle. And then he's got a little sketch of himself. He's really right artistic, and he's holding his arms out like a signalman, and he's got his little sailor hat on and a little V-shaped for his sailor outfit and a big old smile, and it's tiny. We can barely see it. We use a magnifying glass. I think it was kind of common for sailors to record some of their travels on ivory or on wood, and maybe on these shells that he cut off. And it's got some other very interesting information on it that we're going to try to figure out. We don't want to polish it and mess it up, but thankfully that sharp-eyed customer saw it. The shell makes me not only think about this particular serviceman and what he did for his whole career, but it makes me think of the enemy that this would have been used on and their families and their lives and how they were affected during that war. And then it also reminds me of when I was growing up, I would hear a lot of my older lady customers and cousins and aunts and uncles talking about working at the Shell plant. At first I thought they were talking about Shell gasoline, but there was a Shell plant in Charlotte where a lot of the ladies worked. And there were several ladies in Matthews that were customer of ours that used to commute in a car to the Shell plant. They may have made shells like this. So it just makes you think about war and all of the resources that are expended and all of the lives that are affected, of not only the ones here, but the ones abroad. And it all comes from this little shell that's been sitting on our counter for years, storing our pencils. So if you ever want to come by and look at this thing, somebody that knows a lot more about this than I do could probably tell us what the caliber is. I've been told it was an anti-aircraft shell. And all of the different places, the ports of call where this gentleman went to are fascinating. And he survived the war if he made it to 1946. So a lot of mystery, but a lot of thought behind our side, the enemy side, and the people stateside that produce these. We'll see you next week.